Hi there, I'm Debbie from Celestial Astrology Healing. I am a Western consulting astrologer using the whole sign house system and the tropical zodiac. Today, I'm talking about the forthcoming spring equinox, which is this Wednesday, the 20th of March. So forget the beginning of the new year at Hogmanay as we celebrate here in Scotland, or the 1st of January. Forget that, because that's based upon the Gregorian calendar, where Pope Gregory the 13th superseded the Julian calendar and made this calendar. We're talking Aries, the first sign of the zodiac in the tropical new year, the sign of the ram. This is a new beginning. It's a cardinal sign, and a sign of great impetus, energy, movement, and it's ruled by the fiery god Mars, the warrior god, who is impulsive, bold, courageous, impatient, and he's able to fight his battles and protect others. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I've been doing YouTube videos maybe a couple of years now, and I appreciate it if you can like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. I've just added buy me a coffee if you find this helpful and you can't afford a personal reading, which I love to do with my clients. So yeah, please press like, subscribe, buy me a coffee, or put some comments below, which helps the algorithm if there's any of this that resonates with you. So first, I always like to start with some imagery to get me into the zone of feeling what we're talking about here. Today, I'll have an introduction, some imagery, talking about Aries, talking about Mars, talking about the chart of this new beginning at this astrological new year, at spring equinox, when the day and the light are equal. And then I will go into short interpretations for each sign of the zodiac, so you're able to scroll along after hearing the introduction to your rising sign. If you know your time of birth, this is using the whole sign house system. This is the most accurate because it represents a rising constellation on the eastern horizon as you take your first breath in this lifetime. And it's all about you, your identity, your vitality, your body, your psychology, and how you show up in the world. Your sun can represent the masculine principles within you, your ambition, your soul's purpose, your drive, maybe your career if you still work, and your moon can and the father, solar figures, masculine principles, and the moon can represent the more inner feelings, your security, your emotional needs, your mother, your environment, your mind and your body in ancient astrology. So let's start. I've got this lovely background, as you can see, showing what's happening here in the Northern Hemisphere in Scotland. We have the daffodils coming up, we have the crocuses coming up, and I can see some shoots of the bluebells which are to come. So it's got that hope of new energy, new life. And Aries is certainly the symbol of the first sign of the zodiac, and it's that essence of feeling of I am, I exist. So let's share some more imagery. So here we can see this very dynamic, fiery image of Aries, the ram. When we think about the power of the ram, there's that rushing forward, that courageous, that bold, that fast, that impetuous sort of energy. And Mars is the ruler. So there's a warrior-like energy of Aries, being the first sign of the zodiac. We can see the symbol up here, which is just a little bit dark, but it looks a bit like an arrow, but it also can represent the ram of the Aries. And as I was saying, Mars, the warrior god, he's the ruler of Aries and traditionally Scorpio, using ancient astrology. So fire element, that is very much about action, excuse me, and cardinal nature, that is the cardinal points of the zodiac. And the tropical zodiac is Aries at the spring equinox, fire, new beginnings, new life. Opposite Libra, the autumn equinox, the cardinal air. And then we have Cancer coming round at summer solstice, the height, again, moving into more energy of blossoming and harvests. And opposite Cancer, so that's cardinal water. And opposite Cancer, we have cardinal earth, which is Capricorn at the winter solstice. So this is just a good image just to focus on here, to feel that passion within us. And we all have Aries somewhere in our own birth charts. The house cusp of Aries is always going to be the same area. And at this time of the year of spring equinox, you're always going to feel this sense of urgency, new beginnings, impetus, power, and action bubbling somewhere within your life. And I'll go into that shortly when I go into all the signs of the zodiac, beginning with the Aries. So here is the glyph of Mars, the symbol of the masculine. When we think about Venus being the circle with a cross, a bit like the Coptic cross, Venusian, Mars is masculine. Fire is a yang energy, as in yin is receptive, yang is outward giving. So there's something very dynamic about Mars and ruling Aries, passion, sometimes a little bit foolhardy as well, because Aries is so young and innocent and doesn't really think ahead because it's so quick. The action, the drive. There can be a connotation with the Fool of the Zodiac, stepping out into the great unknown without a care in the world, in a sort of naive, innocent manner, because it's a very young first sign of the Zodiac. And this is a wee symbol here of a sprouted seed. When we think about new beginnings, the seed that comes up is a little bit like Aries, with those two heads there at the top coming out. And again, this sign of Aries being the beginning of the astrological new year. I like that image there. And here we've got an image of I suppose it could be seen as the pagan new year. Let me point out some things for you. In Britain, we're very connected to these cycles which supersede all the patriarchal celebrations that have taken over the original celebrations of the new year, and Christmas superseding, you know, winter solstice, etc. You can blend it in whatever feels right for you. But here we have spring equinox here, around March the 20th to the 23rd, this sense of new beginnings at Aries. And as I was saying, the harvest is autumn equinox, Libra season. So this is a cardinal sign. And then we also have summer solstice here in opposition to winter solstice, Cancer at summer solstice, winter at summer solstice. And then we also have the cross-quarter periods. So we've just had lunar Imbolc and solar Imbolc. So at winter solstice, we're going around anti-clockwise from the shortest day. When we get to this cross-quarter period of Imbolc, there's a hope that snowdrops are breaking through the hard and frosty, hard earth here in the northern hemisphere. And Imbolc symbolizes the hope of spring, with Brigid, the goddess of fire and the home hearth. So the light is increasing here, and now we get to equal day, equinox, equal day and equal night at spring equinox. And then the light continues to increase where we plant our seeds and we can see our crops growing. And then we've got summer solstice, a culmination point of flowers and produce that we're growing or projects that we're planting. And again, they continue in the northern hemisphere through Lammas, another cross-quarter day opposite Imbolc, till we get to autumn equinox, where it's equal day and night again, but the light is diminishing, the light is disappearing. And then Samhain is a cross-quarter day opposite Beltane of spring, which I missed there. That's around May the 1st. So it's always nice just to tune in with the seasonal changes. And obviously, if you're in the southern hemisphere, it's flipped over, but this is a symbolic description of what's going on. And I think I've got one more image here. This is definitely a little bit more pagan here. I love this sort of what would I call it, a mandala here, and you've got different names for the different times of year. So Imbolc is called Ostara, I believe. Ostara, Beltane, Litha, Lammas, Mabon, Samhain, that's Halloween, Yule being winter solstice, and around to Imbolc there. So I just thought I'd share these images just to start off. And now I will share a chart of the heavens, showing what's going on in the heavens at this time where the sun ingresses at 0 degrees Aries. So here is a chart of the heavens at the time of the sun's ingress into Aries. Let me just bring up my annotate tool. Again, press the like and subscribe, and consider buying me a coffee if you find this helpful, or just make a comment below. That would be lovely. So here we can see, here is the sun in the sign of Aries. Just for those of you that are new to astrology, let me just quickly point out the signs of the zodiac go around the outside here, like where the candles on a cake would be. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. You can see the sun, the symbol of the sun, the glyph of the circle with a dot at 0 degrees Aries. And we have Rahu, the north node of the moon, also here. Pretty conjoined with Mercury in Aries, the messenger of the gods, about our communication, and the wounded healer Chiron, about healing wounds around our own sense of self-worth. This would be for the house of Sagittarius, because the rising sign here at the 9 o'clock position is showing Sagittarius rising. So just ignore that just now. This is a chart of the heavens at 3 o'clock universal time in the morning for 8 minutes past 3. So Aries here, we've got a stellium if you include Rahu and Chiron, which I always involve. Chiron is very prominent in a lot of my clients' charts, and especially as you reach the perimenopause, we have a Chiron return around around 49-50. It will affect men as well, obviously. And then we have Taurus here. We've got Jupiter, Uranus here in the house of Taurus. There's Gemini, Cancer. The moon is in Leo at the time of this ingress of Aries, spring equinox. There's Virgo, Libra, the south node of the moon. Ketu is in the Libran house, always opposite the north node, and always going retrograde against the direction of the planets. We can ignore the midheaven because that changes every couple of hours, like the ascendant Sagittarius. We can ignore this Capricorn ascendant, and we've got Pluto recently ingressed into Aries, and Mars at the end of, Aquarius, and Mars at the end of Aquarius. And we also have Venus and Saturn conjoining in Pisces, co-present with Neptune. So this is the heavens at the time of this 0 degrees Aries. And it will mean different things depending on where this Aries house is in your life, in your own personal chart. But with more light returning, there is a sense of more solar energy, more hope, more potential, more drive, which provides some impetus for us all at this time of the year with spring, the hope of spring, the hope of bringing things to fruition that we can germinate in the season ahead. So I think I'll now go into short interpretations for the different signs of the zodiac, beginning with Aries. And as I was saying before, if you know your time of birth, then try your ascendant. However, you can also listen for your sun and your moon, because they may give you different layers of interpretation for different facets of yourself. And we are multifaceted beings, human beings, spirit souls, as Adam Ellenbass from Night Astrology used to say, spirit souls in this human body, experiencing life, becoming more conscious, being more aware, so we can live our life more powerfully and meaningfully. So thanks for listening. I'm just going to start with the Aries and bring up the Aries ascendant. Hi there, Aries ascendant, sun or moon, if you don't know your time of birth. Here we can see this is a very dynamic area of life for you. It's the first house, which is the helm of the ship. And in ancient astrology, it was known to be the place of Mercury's joy, because the first house is really about you being at the steering wheel of the ship. It's all about you, this first house. So you will feel this very powerfully. It's an angle of the chart. It represents you, your soul's purpose, and it's in the house of your own identity. So there's certainly some powerful energies here at this spring equinox, which will always come up at this time of year for you, Aries. We've also got Rahu, indicating a sense of trying to achieve and follow your drive, follow your dreams, follow believing in yourself, because Chiron is providing lessons of healing your own wounds here, wounds that you may carry around your sense of self-worth and your own abilities. With Mercury here, the planet of communication, travel, selling, messenger of the gods, journeys, things like that. Mercury is about, it is quite dynamic at the moment, but it's starting to move more slowly because there will be a Mercury retrograde, which will be on the 1st of April. So there will be some sense of reflecting back whenever there's a Mercury retrograde, which will be between the 1st of April at 27 degrees Aries, 10 minutes. And then on the 25th of April, Mercury will station direct at 15 degrees Aries, 59 minutes. And then come the 13th of May, that's when Mercury will be out of the shadow period, but only for a couple of days until the 15th of May, giving you that sort of continued impetus to follow your ideas and your thoughts and maybe new senses of identity that you can apply. And the ruler of this Aries ingress is Mars, as we've discussed earlier. Mars, the warrior planet, he is your ruler. He is co-present in Aquarius with Pluto, who's recently moved in here, giving you a sense of following your dreams with more passion and belief. This is the house, Jupiter's joy, of your long-term dreams, your hopes and wishes. And it can relate to social groups as well. So it's likely with Mars being sometimes a planet of conflict and disagreement and separation, and Pluto here, it may be that it's time to just let go of some friendship groups that no longer resonate with you, that you've maybe outgrown. But Mars gives a sextile, a whole sign sextile to your first house of self-belief. And let's see what else we've got. I'll just remove some of these circles, I think. We've still got Jupiter and Uranus in your second house, which is about your own skills, about your finances, about your sense of self-worth. So this is continuing to be brought up in this area of your life during this ingress. And there will be opportunities, expansion, potential good fortune, and Uranus and Jupiter will be conjoined. I think the aspect starts around the 3rd of April, will be exact on the 21st of April, and will be separating until the 8th of May. So there may be some unexpected events that come up, because Jupiter's the largest planet of the solar system, related to expansion, growth, good fortune normally. Depends if you're born in the day or the night. If you're born in the daytime, Jupiter is in your team. He's part of the day sect. So that could be opportunities coming up here around finances and skills to create your own security. Excuse me. And also going back to your first house, we have a solar eclipse just about to happen on the 8th of April. So there is going to be some powerful new beginning happening in the house of you, how you show up in the world. And there will also be Venus and Saturn coming into a conjunction here. Venus is at 10 degrees, Saturn is at 12 degrees in the 12th house. So there's Venus is exalted in Pisces. So there's a sense of she's able to bring out the highest expressions of herself, harmony, beauty, wealth, pleasures, enjoyment. But when she's conjoined with Saturn, he is about boundaries, limitations, reality checks. There can be something there about some sort of reality check, or maybe there's a sense of recognizing what's missing in your relationships, because Saturn is about burdens or limitations or responsibilities. However, we've still got Neptune up here, the modern day ruler of Pisces. Jupiter is the ancient ruler of Pisces. So Neptune continues to bless this house, this subconscious house, the house that's hidden away from public view. So there's quite a mix of energies going on here. And lastly, just to say that the moon in Leo is in your 5th house of pleasures, romance, joy, creativity, entrepreneurship, sending a trine energy to your sun of self-expression in Aries. This fire trine gives flow and support to your sense of showing up in the world and being more independent. So I hope that's helpful for you, Aries, and I'll be moving on to the next sign of the zodiac, Taurus. Please press the subscribe, like or comment below if you feel that any of this resonates with you, or even buy me a coffee if you're feeling generous. Thank you. Hi there, Taurus ascendant, sun or moon, if you don't know your time of birth. Here we can see that the sun ingressing into Aries at this time of year is always in your 12th house, which is the hidden house, the private house, the most secluded house. The first house is about you showing up in the world. Then we go right around and we come to Saturn. This is the house of Saturn's joy, the distant house, isolated, private, away from the public view. So whatever's going on at the time of this ingress is processed quite privately, maybe reflecting upon your dreams, processing things behind the scenes, tuning into your subconscious, your psyche, in private ways, with Mercury here in Aries, wanting to be dynamic and quite forceful, but just about to go retrograde on the 1st of April. And when Mercury does go retrograde, stations direct on the 25th of April, but doesn't move out of the shadow period until the 13th of May. There will be a time of deep reflections going over things that are relevant for you in your private world, in your private life. And some of that will be to do with the wounds that you carry around your own abilities, maybe recognizing the lack. What have you been doing in the past that's just not been particularly supportive for your growth, where you maybe have some bad habits that need to be broken and healed so that you can step more into your self-belief, where Rahu is encouraging you to heal wounds about what you're able to do for yourself. And this Aries dynamic here of being courageous, but you know, all of this is going on behind the scenes, so it's not so visible. And Venus, your ruler, is up here in your house of Jupiter's joy. She's exalted, she's co-present with Neptune, who also rules Pisces with modern astrologies. Jupiter is a ruler of Pisces in ancient times, as well as being the ruler of Saggitarius. But there is an opportunity. There's a mix, really, because let's get rid of that, sorry, because Venus is about our pleasures, our sense of appreciation, security, our relationships, harmony, coming together, union, avoiding discord. All of these things are maybe within your 11th house of your hopes and wishes and long-term plans, in this house of Jupiter's joy. But Venus will be conjoining with Saturn quite soon. And that is more about reality checks, you know, maybe recognizing what's missing within your relationships. This is the house of friendship groups as well, your allies, friends that you would treat as your tribe that usually support you. So there could be something here that's being highlighted with, you know, your hopes and dreams, aspirations being, you know, the highest, full of faith, full of imagination and you know, trust in a way, with the sense of Neptune here in Pisces, trusting in the universe, but Saturn saying, no, bring it down to reality here. What are you able to do? What works? What doesn't? You know, how can you create plans for the future that are actually grounded in reality and structure? So this is quite a big lesson here for you, Taurus. What else have we got going on? Mars is in your 10th house, of co-present with Pluto. So Mars is in this visible house, an active, the house of praxis, where Pluto has recently moved in, suggesting there's going to be some really big shifts in your status, your public status, how you're seen in life. This may involve changes, endings, new beginnings in your career world, if you are in that phase of your life, or just for being seen for doing things differently. And Mars up here, the warrior, he can bring agitation, conflict, severing ties, cutting away what no longer serves you, thinning out, things that aren't going to help you in the future. So there could be some sense of conflict going on in your visible world, your social status, which maybe isn't so easy to live through. But all of these Plutonian energies encourage us to go deep into our shadows, work through, purge out, release, and regenerate, let go of, and begin again. So that's what's being encouraged here. And also you've got the continuation of Jupiter and Uranus in your first house, which is really continuing to give you a sense of expanding, growing, being more independent, how you show up in the world. And, for Taurus people, you don't like too much change, but Uranus will be bringing some curved balls, unexpected events, and there will be a conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus happening, beginning with the applying aspect on the 3rd of April, exact on the 21st of April, and separating until the 8th of May. So there is going to be some good fortune or potential opportunity of some good fortune or something, chance, good fortune, hope, benefits, if you choose to take it. These events may show themselves, but unless you actually grab the bull by the horns, as it were, being a Taurian, this opportunity, might pass you by. So see what comes up for you in that period of time. And also we've got Mercury in this house. I don't know if I mentioned it, going retrograde around the 1st of April. So you will be reflecting upon things before being able to maybe move forward after the shadow period, the 13th of May to the 15th of May. But then Mercury moves into your first house. So in Taurus, things, plans, travels, ideas will be a bit more slow and ploddy, but you would have been able to process all of these ideas behind the scenes. And there is a trine from the moon. Where are you, moon? Here in the 4th house of Leo to your sun in the 12th house. So there is some sense of some flow and good fortune happening around home and family, which is supporting your sense of self-belief. So I hope that's helpful for you, Taurus ascendants. If you resonate with any of that, maybe put a comment below, and best wishes until next time. Subscribe, buy me a coffee if you fancy it. And next I'll be moving on to Gemini. Hi there, Gemini ascendants, sun or moons, if you don't know your time of birth. Here we can see this ingress of the sun into Aries is creating a stellium in your 11th house of Jupiter's joy. This is a powerful area of where you can express your hopes and dreams and long-term wishes. It may be related to your career, being the 2nd derived house from the 10th house of career. It may represent friendship groups. You may have this time of year might symbolize times that you connect with your friendship groups, those that are really supportive of you, that you would treat like family, that really know you well and have your best interests at heart. It used to be known as the House of Benefactors in ancient times. And your ruler, Mercury, is also here in Aries, quite dynamic in Aries, however, slowing down because there will be a Mercury retrograde beginning on the 1st of April at 27 degrees Aries, 10 minutes, then going backwards in the heavens, giving you a chance to review what ideas, long-term plans that you may have, with Rahu here wanting to be successful, the north node of the moon, the severed head of the dragon, wanting to achieve things, using independence and boldness and passion and drive of that fiery Aries nature. So the Mercury retrograde will be happening here, reviewing your long-term plans, and Mercury will go direct and out of the shadow period. Well, 25th of April going direct at 15 degrees Aries 59, but not out of the shadow period until the 13th of May, until the 15th of May, right at the end of Aries, and then going into Taurus. So this is a sort of dynamic time of year for you, where you can think about plans, how you can do things independently, connecting with your social circles that support you, following your dreams, using your mind, which is very adept at thinking about lots of different things, with a chance to reflect during the Mercury retrograde period. So what else have we got going on, Geminis? We have got Mars in this ninth house, co-present with Pluto in the house of Aquarius here. This is also encouraging you to think more widely about your sense of understanding of your place in the world. It may it's to do with the higher mind. It's the house, the joy of God, the joy of the sun, the house of God. So it's really about expanding your mind. What fulfills you, what gives you that sense of belief and your understanding your place in the world. And it can be about teaching as well. It could be about book publishing, the ninth house. It can be about long distance travel, things that help expand you. And Pluto will be up here for the next 19 years. And Mars is giving you a sense of drive and self-belief here, using very unique ideas. Aquarius being the symbol of the water carrier, but the water, the ideas, the zigzags about, unusual ideas that are innovative and independently minded. The moon will be trining. Let me just get rid of some of these circles. The moon will also be giving a helpful trine from your third house of siblings to the local neighborhood. So this could be something beneficial that comes to you, this helpful trine, the nature of Jupiter, from your everyday life, neighborhood, siblings, flowing, something generous and creative that supports your dreams and your wishes for the future. So I hope that is helpful for you. I'm trying to keep this quite short because I could be here for a couple of hours. My last video was a couple of hours long, and I intend the interpretations to just give you a gist. Did I talk about the solar eclipse? No, I didn't. Okay, so I haven't finished. I haven't finished. So there will be a solar eclipse here, Geminis, on the 8th of April. This again is a new beginning, something that can unfold over the next months in relation to either your career plans or your hopes and wishes. I will be doing a separate video on that solar eclipse. But yeah, it does highlight this Aries house for you, this 11th house of Jupiter's joy, your dreams and wishes. And there will be new beginnings that you can be more dynamic and forthright thinking about for the future that you can bring to fruition. While the Aries Libra axes are happening. I believe I did write it down somewhere. Don't quote me on this. I think it's the 29th of April 2025 will be the last Aries eclipse. And it might be, yeah, that will be a solar eclipse. So yeah, these energies of this, where you can see the nodes across your 11th house and your 5th house, working these dynamics of your pleasures, fun, romance, entrepreneurship, creativity, and children to your hopes and your wishes for the future. So I hope that's helpful there with that little, is it addendum? I added it on. And next, moving on to Cancer rising, sun or moon, if you don't know your time of birth. Hi there, Cancer, ascendants, sun or moon, if you don't know your time of birth. Here we can see we've got a very dynamic area of life being highlighted as the sun ingresses into Aries in your 10th house of public visibility, what was known as the house of praxis, directly above, very visible in your outward life or what you're seen to do publicly. So this house can be to do with your career, your social status, your work life, your vocations, any charity work, what you're seen to do in the public eye, and it affects, how you show up in your outside world. So there's a new energy here with this sun in Aries. It's always going to be happening at this time of year for you. But this time we also have the north node of the moon in Aries. And we also have Mercury in Aries and Chiron in Aries. These themes are continuing from previous readings that I've given, which highlight this area of life because, you know, these planets and Rahu and Ketu is about really believing in yourself, really healing wounds about how you show up publicly and how others may perceive you. It's about believing in your independence, being courageous, being bold, stepping into your power, you know, being fearless with that fiery Aries, passionate nature. And there will be a solar eclipse here on the 8th of April, which does signify new beginnings in this area of your life. So it may be that you are going to change your career or change how you do things in life, in your career life, in your world, how you do things in the public eye, and how that can help you grow as a person using your own skills that you would like to bring to the fore. And, you know, this Aries solar eclipse is across the dynamic of the Libra house, 4th house, home and family, to your outward life. The 4th house is the hidden house, the place of rest. So these dynamics are in play with these axes across these Aries Libra axes, which I believe are in place until I think it's the 29th of April 2025. There was a first solar eclipse in Libra 14th of October last year. So there's certain energies that are coming to the fore around the full moon Libra eclipse around the 25th of March. But let's just like stay focused. I'll do another video on that. But it's definitely highlighting something about self-belief in your public visibility, being courageous, healing wounds that maybe you've been wounded in the past by maybe hearing something negative about what you're able to do, and taking that on board and not forgetting that wound, but actually just brush that one away and believe in yourself and step forward courageously. That's what this Aries ram, fiery, bold nature is what's the word? Supporting, indicating, I'm getting a mental block, sorry. Moving on to encouraging, that was it, encouraging, it comes in the end. So your moon is the ruler, and the moon is giving a supportive trine aspect to your sun from your 2nd house of Leo, indicating your own creative skills, something that you're different, your own individual skills, which you're seen to have, which are very different to others. You know, it's very, Leo likes to be the teacher, the leader, very creative, and there's something very unique about what you've got to offer within your own skill set, which flows to this 10th house of how you can express that and share that with the public world. So that's a beautiful trine aspect, the nature of Jupiter, which can bring some good fortune to you there. And continuing in this 8th house of Aquarius, we've got Pluto up here, and we've got Mars. And the 8th house is about shared resources, the esteem of others, money from others. So all of these topics are being highlighted at this time. And Mars is the ruler of this Aries ingress. So there is something about karmic debt, about shared resources, how people see you, the esteem of others, which is in a whole sign sextile to the sun in Aries. So again, you know, it's about healing those beliefs from the past and stepping into your power. And Mercury will be going retrograde here in this 10th house, the 1st of April at 27 degrees, retrograding back. Mercury, the messenger of the gods, about your mind, your ideas, your thoughts, your journeys, selling yourself, all of those things. There's going to be reflection in this area, maybe rethinking your career world, rethinking how you want to show up in the world if you're not working. And on the 25th of April, Mercury stations direct at 15 degrees and then moves out of the shadow period, passing the 27 degrees on the 13th of May until the 15th of May. Just at the end there, you might have a little bit of impetus to move forward with ideas that you've been processing during the Mercury retrograde, and then slowly putting them into action when Mercury goes into Taurus, because Taurus is much more plodding, stable, less impulsive, planning slowly, moving slowly, persistently. So yeah, that's something that's going to be coming up, but it is really about healing wounds around your own sense of self-belief, Cancers. So I hope that's helpful for you. If any of this resonates, please put a comment below. That helps the chat to flow, and we can learn from each other. It's helpful for me to know if I'm on the right tracks. This is a very general thing when we're looking at the heavens like this, because we're not looking at your own personal chart and seeing if there's anything being particularly activated by these planets. So if you had planets in Aries, or any of the other placements, then this might be particularly significant for you. So I hope that's helpful, Cancer. Press the like, subscribe, buy me a coffee if you're feeling generous, and best wishes. I'll be moving on to the next sign of the zodiac, which is Leo. And just to say, Cancer, I forgot to mention that we have got Venus about to conjoin with Saturn up here in your house of the higher mind. Sorry, I've lost my annotate tool. I think I need to eat breakfast, not to text. Sorry, bear with me. I've got a text box come up there. Here we go. I think this is it. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, we've got Venus here about to conjoin with Saturn in this ninth house of God, related to the higher mind. And you've got Neptune here with your dreams. It could be spiritual practices. It can be pilgrimages, your beliefs, how you make sense in the world. And there is a sense of Venus in Pisces bringing pleasures, the highest ideals around spiritual pursuits, but it's also maybe giving an indication to you being able to be a teacher. I think I've maybe brought this up before, because this is the ninth house of God. It can be about you turning to others that impart their knowledge to you, like solar figures, gurus, priests, traditionally. But it can also be about you becoming a teacher, with Venus blending with Saturn here, dependent on your age. Saturn, the wise one, the elder, Kronos, Lord of Time, and Venus conjoining here with these dreams of creativity, with Saturn saying, ground it all down, make long-term plans, structure this area of your life if this is what you'd like to do in the future. So I hope that's helpful for you, Cancers, and sorry about stopping and starting. Hopefully it's not too glitchy. Hi there, Leo ascendant, sun or moons, if you don't know your time of birth. Here we can see this stellium of planets where the sun is ingressed into Aries, co-present with the north node of the moon, Rahu, Mercury in Aries, and Chiron. They're about to make a conjunction together as well. So this ninth house is an area of life related to your higher mind, related to your sense of understanding your place in the world. It can be to do with your belief systems, your spirituality, journeys that you take on, or studies that you take on, which help enhance your sense of your place in the world. This ninth house is known to be the joy of the sun. So we've got the sun here that rules you. The sun rules Leo, so it's dynamic in this house. And we also have it in the house of God, which is about solar figures. Sometimes this can relate to things like court cases, solar figures in places of authority traditionally that made decisions. So there's something new happening here. This Aries house will always be active at this time of year for you, but we don't always have these conjunctions here of Mercury and Chiron and Rahu also present, the north node of the moon. So Mercury is the planet of communication, your ideas, your travel, your mind, selling mercantile things like that, sharing ideas. Mercury will be going retrograde on the 1st of April. So there will be a sense of reflection happening for you as Mercury goes backwards in the heavens at 27 degrees Aries. That's where he begins going retrograde. Will station direct on the 25th of April at 15 degrees Aries, 59 minutes. And then be out of the shadow period, the post-shadow period, on the 13th of May to the 15th of May. So there's a tiny pocket of time at the end of that Aries house before Mercury moves into Taurus in your 10th house of public visibility. So there's going to be a lot of reflection happening for you, going back over your belief system, your ideas, what actually makes sense to you in life, and something about healing wounds around your own abilities, with Mercury conjoined with Chiron, the wounded healer, wounds that we carry. And in Aries, it's often about our own independence and what we're able to do for ourselves. So these topics are definitely being highlighted as the sun moves into Aries here. I was just about, oh yeah, the solar eclipse is about to happen on the 8th of April. So that's also happening in this house of Aries. You're going to be having this dynamic happening across the 9th house of Aries to the 3rd house of Libra, because that's where the nodes of the moon are, and they moved there on the 14th of October last year. We had a new moon solar eclipse in Libra, which is the first Libran eclipse, and these happen and unfold like waves over the next 18 months or so. But there will be a full moon lunar eclipse on the 25th of March this year, but I'll be doing a separate video about that. But just to say, the solar eclipse is happening up here on the 8th of April. So again, it's highlighting these 9th house topics. So what else have we got going on? We've got Mars, the ruler of Aries, in your 7th house of personal relationships. And Mars is also co-present with Pluto, that's recently moved into here. So, you know, Pluto, god of the underworld, Hades, about power, control, death, endings, purging, releasing, letting go, and regeneration. He's going to be active in this house of your personal relationships for the next 19 years. Mars moves very swiftly through the sign of the Zodiac, just a few weeks, and Mars disposits the sun, rules the sun in Aries, disposits all these planets from a sextile whole sign aspect. But, you know, as far as having power and independence in the 7th house, Mars can also represent conflict, disagreement, argument, and sometimes Mars gets his weapon and cuts away and severs ties. So, you know, there could be a sense of that happening if you can't resolve things in your personal relationships at this time. The moon in Leo is in your 1st house. So there is a helpful trine from your self-expression to this sun here. This trine aspect is the nature of Jupiter. So there's some sense of support and harmony around your identity and your mind, and how you can bring your unique ideas to the fore that can be expressed. And this flow of energy should support you at this time. And we also have Jupiter and Uranus in your 10th house of public visibility. They've been up here together, and they will shortly be in a conjunction. So this is a very visible area of life for you, Leos. This is the house of praxis. This is the house related to your public status, what you're seen to do in the public eye. Jupiter is the largest planet of the solar system and represents growth and opportunities, benefits, gifts, rewards, usually. And maybe that will happen, especially if you belong to the daytime sect and you were born in the daytime, because Jupiter is on your team. He's the largest, the greater benefic. Uranus is about sudden, unexpected events happening. And this conjunction is going to happen on the 3rd of April. So Uranus can be awakening, bring unexpected events, sudden innovative thoughts, light bulb moments of inspiration with Jupiter there. So, you know, there could be something exciting happening. This will be exact on the 21st of April, and separating away. Jupiter will be moving away from Uranus until the 8th of May. So there's something up here in the public sphere of your life that will affect your reputation and how you are seen in the public world. That may have some positive effects for you with this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. So I think that's everything. We've mentioned the solar eclipse. Oh yeah, there is one other thing. We've got Venus and Saturn in your 8th house of Pisces. So Venus is about, and she's exalted there, so she is about relationships. This is the house of karmic debt. So it may be a time where you're reflecting on what you bring to the table in relationships and what others bring to the table in relationships and how that's shared and is that balanced. Saturn giving a reality check there to create some routines and structures around those things, so there can be more harmony and peace. And Neptune is also there and has been there since, I think, it's a long time. I don't want to quote a date because it's not really accurate. I don't know. Is it 2011? Don't quote me on it. But yeah, Neptune offers that sense of trusting, having faith, and connecting with compassion and imagination and the highest potential. But Saturn is also grounding that, saying, okay, well, if this is going to work, how can we actually physically make this work and set some boundaries, set some rules, set some structures that we can both, you know, work within. So I hope that's helpful for you, Leo ascendants, Sun or Moon. Comment below if any of that resonates with you. Press the like, subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Buy me a coffee if you're feeling generous. And I know that Leos tend to be quite generous. Just joking. I'm just playing with you because I've only just put this buy me a coffee button onto my website. So, thank you. Hi there, Virgo ascendant, Sun or Moon, if you don't know your time of birth. Here we can see that we have this ingress of the Sun into Aries at spring equinox in your 8th house, co-present with Mercury, Rahu, and Chiron. Here we can see the Sun, Rahu, the north node of the dragon, the north node of the moon, the severed head of the dragon, insatiable to succeed and absorb and find success and really achieve something here in this 8th house of joint finances, the esteem of others, karmic debt, intimacy with others. It can be related to things like anxieties, fears, death, inheritances. So money that you don't normally make from your day-to-day life can be beneficial for you here, although this is happening at this time of year for you, Virgos, with the Sun in Aries every year. But we also have Mercury in Aries about to conjoin with the wounded healer Chiron. Chiron, part of the Centurion belt, which represents the wounds that we carry that need healed. So there's your mind in Aries, your mind represented by Mercury in Aries here. Mercury is moving slowly at the moment. You know, we'll conjoin with Chiron, and then we'll start going retrograde on the 1st of April at 27 degrees 10 minutes Aries. On the 25th of April, we'll retrograde back to 15 degrees Aries, 59 minutes. During that time, you can actually process these ideas around shared resources or go deep into your mystical realms. This is the house of the occult and mysteries in life. It can represent deep, dark topics of taboo subjects like death and sex and rebirth and, you know, intimacy. there's a lot of reflection happening here, perhaps, or it can be more financial, about money coming in from other sources, from others, such as inheritances or unexpected money that comes to you. And the 13th to the 15th of May, that's when Mercury will be right at the end of clearing the shadow period. So you may be able to move forward with your ideas and your plans or travels just in this tiny pocket of time after processing all of your thoughts and ideas during the retrograde period. So there's intense energies happening around this eighth house, the eighth house topics. And this does also relate to your own sense of your own security, where we have the Libra and south node of the moon, this dynamic of where the lunar nodes and the eclipses have been happening since the 14th of October last year. There was the first new moon in Libra, and there will be a full moon lunar eclipse on the 25th of March, which will be coming to fruition, bringing those topics of what might be planted. You know, they're like waves that come and go over the next 18 months or so. So the dynamic of what other people do for you, karmic debt, what you do for them, your own skills, your own resources, how you can use your own finances, these topics are going to be highlighted. But I'll be doing a separate video on the eclipses. But there will be an eclipse on the 8th of April in this area of life related to shared resources or money from others. So there's something new happening around the 8th of April here, representing a very new beginning for you that may unfold over the next months and maybe year. We also have Saturn and Venus conjoined in your 7th house of relationships, co-present with a Neptune that's been there for many, 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 many years. But Venus is exalted in Pisces. So she represents what we value in our life, pleasures, our relationships, harmony, security, peace, union. So there's a sense of dreams here with Venus in the 7th house. It could be personal relationships, like romantic marriage partners. Maybe there's a sense of something new that you're able to introduce into long-term relationships, or there may be an opportunity for you to meet somebody new if you're single. It could also relate to business relationships, and it also can relate to your audience. If you have an online presence, such as myself, it can be about those in your audience that you are serving with your services and what you offer. But Saturn is encouraging some sense of, you know, recognition around reality, because Venus can have such high ideals, especially with Neptune in Pisces, the modern day ruler, bringing in that sense of trusting in the universe with sort of highest imagination and spiritual insights. And it's like all beautiful and nirvana, but Saturn's like, okay, well, that might be possible, but let's see how we can make that happen. How do we do that? How do we balance things out? How do we structure things? How can we create boundaries in this sign of Pisces here? So there's something, you know, powerful happening. And if you've got planets where these planets are around 10 degrees in Pisces, that's going to accentuate that even more. Without seeing your personal birth chart, this is a general feeling. So it's something around pleasures, harmony, structure, dreams in your personal relationships, and they can be related to business as well. Let me get rid of some of these arrows. So Mars, the ruler of the sun, is in your 6th house, co-present with Pluto, who's just recently moved in there and will be there for the next 19 years, give or take a wee bit, when he goes back in September, November this year, tying up ends in your 5th house of creativity, pleasures, entrepreneurship related to children. But once he moves back into this area, I think it's the 11th of November maybe, he will stay here for 19 years. And Pluto encourages a sense of stepping into power, your own power. Can be related to your health as well, this house. So there's lots of regeneration, endings, new beginnings. It can be related to co-workers. With Mars in Mars's joy, the 6th house here in Aquarius, there could be some conflict at your daily job if you're working. You know, this is the house of service, your daily rituals and chores. There could be some sort of stresses going on here because Mars can inflame and agitate and irritate. But it's a short-lived transit with the Mars there. But he is in a sextile, whole sign sextile to the sun. So daily life, go into this house of shared resources is being highlighted as well. And let's see where the moon is. The moon is in Leo in your 12th house, so a very private area of life where you're processing things behind the scenes subconsciously, and it's going to this house of intimacy and your self-expression. So this is a flowing energy. So perhaps, you know, when you're on your own, you can reflect privately with your dreams, going into your deeper psyche, using your own creativity and leadership skills that you can maybe process behind the scenes to get that sense of, you know, that you've got something valuable that you can bring to the table in these shared relationships. So I think that's everything. We've got a wee bit of a Jupiter-Uranus thing happening up here as well. This has been in this area of your life. May last year, Jupiter moved into this 9th house, which might indicate it being an area where you've been expanding with your higher education, teaching abilities or spiritual pursuits, journeys, overseas travels, ideas about foreign shores. And there will be a conjunction here on the 3rd of April. So there's a conjunction applying around the 3rd of April, exact on the 21st of April, and separating around the 8th of May. So there could be some opportunities of growth, overseas travels, unexpected events, good fortune, rewards, something unexpected, or you might get a lightning bolt moment of inspiration, spiritual insight or something that gives you this sort of propelling energy to move forward and break free and feel liberated and awakened in some way. So I hope that's helpful. Could be very exciting if I've made that interpretation correctly. So press the like, subscribe, put any comments below, Virgos, buy me a coffee if you feel like it. I've just put that on my website for the first time after loads of views. So I only managed to put it on last time afterwards. So maybe this time somebody will buy me a coffee. I'll give you a little bit of insight. The first person to buy me a coffee was my partner to support me. So yeah, that's always nice to have that support. But it would be nice for somebody that doesn't know me to buy me a coffee if you appreciate my sharings. So thank you for considering that. Hi there, Libra ascendant, sun or moon, if you don't know your time of birth. As you can see, you've got a very dynamic area of life being highlighted by this ingress of the sun into Aries at this time of year for you, because the 7th house here, where Aries is on the house cusp, is a kentron, an angle of the chart, and it represents your personal relationships. So Aries is at 0 degrees, just ingressed into this sign. Rahu, the north node of the moon, is at 16 degrees. Mercury is at 17 degrees, so pretty close conjunction here, and Chiron is at 18 degrees. So these are pretty much conjoined together, or about to conjoin, or have been conjoined, because Rahu goes backwards, the north node of the moon, the severed head of the dragon, he moves backwards. But there's a sense of wanting to achieve something independently, find success with Rahu here in Aries in your 7th house of personal relationships. This can be related to romantic relationships or business relationships. And there's Mercury here wanting to think independently, using those fiery, passionate, assertive nature of believing in oneself. And Chiron, the wounded healer, is also bringing up these areas of maybe self-doubt that you can heal around your own abilities within relationships. There will be, and Mercury will be going retrograde on the 1st of April here. So there is going to be a period of time. He's at 27 degrees Aries, moving back until the 25th of April, where he stations direct at 15 degrees Aries, 59 minutes, but not until the 13th of May and to the 18th of May, where he's out of the shadow period, just with this little bit of potential where he's at the end of Aries, to move forward with your plans, maybe sign contracts, make journeys, sell yourself. Something about audience and selling yourself, or something around relationships, is really highlighted by this ingress and these planets here. And we also have a new moon solar eclipse on the 8th of April in this house, which is highlighting all of these themes. Something new is beginning, and you've been having these dynamics of where you can see the south node of the moon and the north node of the moon. This is the where the eclipses have been happening, and there was a solar eclipse in Libra on the 14th of October last year, and there will be a full moon lunar eclipse on the 25th of March this year, bringing to a head these topics that may have that you may have planted seeds of new ideas that will come to fruition. But I'll do a separate video on that. But just to say that the dynamic is happening across your first house, about you, your self-expression, how you show up in the world, your identity, and very much about relationships and shared relationships that are important to you. So this is very important and quite prevalent in your life, Librans. So your Venus, the ruler of Libra, is about to conjoin here in your 6th house. This 6th house here is about, it's the house of Mars's joy, but in ancient times, yeah, that's how it was known, the 6th house. But really, it's about day-to-day life. It's about how you show up and what you do ritually, mundane chores, service, self-sacrifice. So Venus is exalted here and brings up pleasures. She's exalted. She believes in you know, wants to do things in a really harmonious way. She's creative, she's compassionate, she's peace-loving, she's sensitive, she's caring, and there's the highest intentions of the modern-day ruler. Neptune is in Pisces here. Oops, I've got the wrong bit. Neptune is also in Pisces here, and that's bringing in further dreams as well, and hopes. It can be related to your health. This 6th house can be related to your mental health, your physical health, and Saturn here is giving a reality check. So Saturn might be saying, okay, well, that's all very well, but how are you going to actually instill any routines to make this reality happen? You know, because Saturn in Pisces likes to create some structure. Pisces is very dreamy and creative and imaginative and caring and fluid. So to make something happen, he is the taskmaster, the reality checker, the one that says, okay, so what are you going to do then in your day-to-day life that's going to make these dreams actually happen? So it can be a positive time, you know, using the blend of these different energies here. It is about responsibility as well, Saturn in this house of Pisces, which is going to be here for when he moved in. Was it last March? It's going to be here for 2.5 years. But when Venus comes in, it's blending together. Maybe it's bringing a sense of what's missing in your personal relationships, or maybe with work colleagues, because it can be to do with co-workers. So some sort of difficulty or burden or restriction, perhaps. I don't know. See how it feels for you. See what resonates for you, Librans. So what else have I got going on? Yeah, we've got Mars, the ruler of this eclipse, so the ingress into Aries, the sun into Aries. He is in your 5th house of pleasures, creativity, love, romance, entrepreneurship. And Pluto has also just moved into this house here. So there's going to be big transformational changes for you over the next 19 years. Something about independence, thinking outside the box, new beginnings. Mars is encouraging a sense of independence around maybe entrepreneurial pursuits. Sometimes there can be a bit of conflict with Mars there, causing agitation and inflammation or disagreement. But Mars is just moving swiftly out of there. But Mars does support by a whole sign sextile the sun here. And then we've also got the moon in Leo from your house of Jupiter's joy, the dreams and wishes, your long-term plans, your house of benefactors, giving a nice, helpful trine aspect. The nature of Jupiter, the benefic largest planet of the solar system, a fiery flow from this house of your dreams and wishes and aspirations for long-term plans, using your leadership skills perhaps, or teaching skills, your own creative abilities, to this house of Aries, the fiery house here of your personal relationships, or perhaps your audience. So that could be helpful for you there. And at the same time, we've still got this benefic potential with the Jupiter here in your 8th house of karmic debt, how others view you, the esteem of others in ancient times. And Jupiter being the benefic planet, the largest benefic planet, especially if you're born in the daytime, Jupiter may be particularly supportive to you because he belongs to the daytime sect. Jupiter is about to conjoin with Uranus on the 3rd of April at 20 degrees, and that's applying to Uranus, and will be exact on the 21st of April, and will be separating away. So there is potential in this house of money from others. It could be inheritances, it could be gifts, it might be related to mortgages, it might be related to grants or incomes, something potentially exciting and unexpected and of good fortune and support may come your way there, Libra ascendants. So let me know how that resonates with you. Make a comment, press the subscribe button, buy me a coffee if you're feeling generous, and best wishes, and see you next time. Thanks for listening. So next I'll be moving on to Scorpio ascendant. Hi there, Scorpio ascendant, sun or moon, if you don't know your time of birth. As you can see, this ingress of the sun at spring equinox into Aries is happening and highlighting this 6th house of your everyday life, everyday work, routines, daily service, your health and well-being, as well as related to pets. So we've got the sun at 0 degrees Aries. We've got Rahu, the north node of the moon, the severed head of the dragon. He's wanting success in this area of your life. So it could be related to your work, daily routines. He's wanting to achieve some success. Mercury in Aries, the messenger of the gods, related to your mind and your communications, your travels and your ideas and mercantile things like selling things in your daily life. He's in a conjunction here to Chiron. That's encouraging you to heal wounds around your maybe own abilities and belief in your own skills, because Aries likes to be independent and courageous, but sometimes Chiron can indicate fears or wounds around what that actually might mean. And Mercury is slowing down at the moment, because Mercury is just about to go retrograde on the 1st of April at 27 degrees Aries, 10 minutes. So when Mercury goes retrograde, there may be a time of rethinking topics around your work life, your everyday life, your routines, what you do for others in a sense of service. And then on the 25th of April, Mercury stations direct at 15 degrees Aries, 59 minutes, and then starts to move forward. But it's not till the 13th of May, 2024, to the 15th of May that Mercury is out of the shadow period. So after that period of time, you might want to make new decisions based upon your reflections and rethinking and revising your own ideas around this area of your life. It could be related to health regimes, things that might improve your own sense of well-being if you have any health issues as well, or it could be to do with work. And also there will be a solar eclipse here in this area of life on the 8th of April, which symbolizes a new beginning. And this eclipse will unfold over the next months and years, because we've got the dynamic of the nodes of the moon across this 6th house and this 12th house of Libra. That's where Ketu is, the south node of the moon, the severed body of the dragon. There was a new moon solar eclipse here on the 14th of October last year, and there will be a full moon in this area, your subconscious, so it's a hidden behind the scenes area of life for you. So that's coming up around the 25th of March, but I'll do a separate video on that, Scorpios. So yeah, the dynamic is, though, across this house of Saturn's joy, privacy, behind the scenes stuff, subconscious things, your deeper self, being away from others, and the house of Mars is joy. These are the dynamics happening with the eclipses. So we'll go into that another time. But Mars, the ruler of Scorpio, as well as, so he's your ruler in ancient times. I know Pluto is also given to be your ruler. So we have Pluto and Mars in this fifth house of Venus's joy, about your pleasures, your recreation, creativity, can be related to children, romance, love, pregnancy. All of these things are being stimulated in a very slow way with Pluto moving here over the next 19 years. But Mars here bringing up some agitation, perhaps. Mars can fire you up, give you independent ideas and things like that, and be assertive in this fifth house of Venus's joy, which can be about entrepreneurship as well as children and things like that. But Mars disposits the sun from a sort of whole sign sextile. So something about creativity and your own pleasures, go into your daily life is being highlighted by this aspect here. It's a whole sign aspect. So the ancient ones believed that planets didn't need to be in an angular aspect, but if they could see each other by the sextile, the square, the trine, and the opposition, and also the conjunction, conjoining of planets, that they could support each other. So that's been going on, that's happening. Let's have a look at other things that are happening for you. Venus and Saturn will be conjoining here in this fifth house. Sorry, did I say four? I said fifth house. Ignore the house that I've just mentioned. Mars and Pluto will be in your fourth house of home and family. Changes here happening, not the fifth house, because I'm just about to talk about the fifth house, which is Venus's joy, where Venus and Saturn are. So Mars and Pluto are in your fourth house. So there could be some disagreements, conflict, agitation, irritation around home and family. And Pluto is encouraging you to step into your power over the next 19 years with endings and new beginnings. So likely that you're going to move home, many of you Scorpios, and step into your own power, take on more responsibility perhaps. But when we're talking about Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, pleasures, harmony and union, she is about to conjoin with Saturn. She is in the house of Pisces, where she is exalted, so she can express her own qualities and pleasures and dreams. She wants to be flowing and dreamy and creative and inspired, and Neptune here is also supporting those energies. But Saturn, he's like, I am the person going to set down the rules. And it's like, okay, so you want to have pleasure, you want to be creative, you want to have love and romance or have fun, but perhaps you need to limit it somehow or work out what's missing in your relationships. A reality check here with Saturn about creating new structures that you can implement that maybe will support you in the future within your relationships, creating some sense of boundary, discipline. All of these are topics here, but there can be beauty here, there can be dreams and inspiration. We all need to dream, don't we? We all need to feel inspired and hopeful. So Venus in Pisces can support that, but Saturn brings some grounding energies there to apply to that. And we also continue to have the Jupiter Uranus in your seventh house of personal relationships. So Jupiter has been up here since May and will be up here until the 25th of May this year, spends about 1 year in each sign of the Zodiac, with a cycle of nearly 12 years. Going around the Zodiac takes 12 years to go around the whole Zodiac. And there will be a conjunction where Jupiter will conjoin Uranus. So this is personal relationships. It can be romantic, they can be business, they can be the audience that you serve if you're in an occupation where you serve others. So there could be independence that Uranus brings up, some more rebellion or awakening, and Jupiter is expansive and brings an opportunity or a chance of something that may help you grow and expand and receive recognition perhaps. So this conjunction, it starts to apply around the 3rd of April with a 3-degree orb when Uranus is at 20 degrees 59 minutes, and then it's exact on the 21st of April, and then Jupiter will move past Uranus around the 8th of April. So watch out for some opportunities here within either close relationships, business relationships, or with your audience at work, their Scorpio ascendants. I hope that's helpful for you, and good luck with that. Leave a comment below if any of that resonates with you. Press the subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and if you're feeling particularly generous, I've just got a new buy me a coffee button, and so far I've only got one coffee being bought by my partner. How sad is that? But it's really supportive. But anyway, he knows me. It would be nice to sort of feel support from others that enjoy my sharings. These videos take hours to do. I don't know what it's like for other astrologers, but my prep takes hours, and recording takes hours, and uploading takes hours. And it is really to promote myself as an astrologer so that I can have more people to read. That's one of the challenges when you're newly qualified. I think I've saturated my whole friends group. I can't really read any more friends. So I'm looking for new clients, and I'm very well priced. And you get a lot for your investment by the charges that I charge compared to other astrologers that may charge about 3 or 4 times the amount that I charge. So consider contacting me if you'd like a reading, and we can certainly look into the eclipses, your annual perfection time lords, and what other transits are happening in the heavens, which can give you great insight into your life and navigating the challenges and recognizing your natal promise, where the gifts of the gods and goddesses bestow their energies to you. And when you're aware of your own talents and skills or difficulties, it helps you navigate life more consciously, I believe. And it's a great tool for self-understanding and understanding others. So that's a great passion for me. I've gone off on a tangent there, Scorpios. But anyway, thanks for listening. Hi there, Sagittarius ascendants, sun or moon if you don't know your time of birth. As we can see, this ingress at spring equinox of the sun into Aries always happens in your 5th house, which was known in ancient times as the house of Venus's joy. It's really the house of pleasures, creativity. It can be related to your children. If you have children, it can be pregnancy or entrepreneurial projects that you give birth to, romance, sport, whatever's pleasurable for you. It can be the house of gambling, investments, things like that. But yeah, basically at this time of year, at spring equinox, Sagittarius ascendants, this is always the house that's being highlighted for you. So we can see the sun is at 0 degrees Aries, Rahu, the north node of the moon, the severed head of the dragon, it's at 16 degrees Aries, Mercury, the messenger of the gods, the psychopomp, the traveler, the trickster, the magician, the merchant, he is at 17 degrees Aries within a conjunction here of Rahu and Chiron, the wounded healer, it's part of the Centurion asteroid belt, representing wounds that need healed. He's within this conjunction here with Rahu, Mercury. So there's all this energy here, fiery, impulsive, creative, fun-loving, young, youthful, expressive, impatient, impulsive energies all around the sense of creativity. So this might give you a little bit of a bolt of extra energy in this area of your life. You might feel inspired. It might give you more sense of romance and passion within your romantic relationships sexually, if you're lucky. Just joking. And there will be a Mercury retrograde here where you will be reflecting back on issues, and these may be related to children. This 5th house of Venus's joy is also related to children, if you have children or maybe grandchildren. So there's going to be a Mercury retrograde on the 1st of April at 27 degrees Aries. 10 minutes, Mercury will start moving backwards in the heavens, stationing at 15 degrees Aries, 59 minutes on the 25th of April, and then moving forward out of the shadow period, the 13th of May. So Mercury will be moving forward from the 25th of April, but not out of that shadow period of 27 degrees until right at the end of Aries, on the 13th of May to the 15th of May. So there could be a lot of reflection around healing wounds, around topics around children, going back over what's important for you and your pleasures in life, and how you can embrace those passionate things that make you feel alive, make you feel young. All of those things are really likely to be highlighted with the Rahu, the north node of the moon, wanting you to succeed in these areas, insatiable, that severed head of the dragon wanting to take in and succeed, a driving force for you there. So that's going to be happening. And there will be a solar eclipse here. So these solar eclipses have started across the Libran axis here, where you can see the south node of the moon, Ketu, releasing the severed body, releasing relationships, friendship groups, endings perhaps here. There was a new moon solar eclipse on the 14th of October last year in Libra, and there will be a full moon lunar eclipse here 25th of March, but I'll be doing a separate one on that, a separate video. That's sometimes when things can culminate and come to fruition from the new beginnings started last October. But just to say that these dynamics across your Jupiter's house of Jupiter's joy, hopes and wishes, long-term plans, friendship groups are in this opposition with these ongoing eclipses in the Aries and Libran houses about your own pleasures and your dreams and social groups here. So there could be a sense of letting go of some groups here that you don't resonate with anymore. But I'll do a separate video on that. And we've got Mars, the ruler of Aries, here in your third house. This third house is a mixed bag of symbolism and what it relates to. It's the house of your local neighborhood. It's the house of siblings, aunts and uncles, cousins. It's the house of communications and teaching and learning. And Pluto is ingressed into here recently and has given you a big power up into stepping into your power. Your words may be more powerful, Sagittarians. You may teach others. You may come across in your, if you're on social media, more powerfully. You may be doing more writing. And Mars is bringing a lot of energy here, and energy to using your own ideas are symbolized by Aquarius, the zigzaggy lines of inventive ideas, innovative thoughts, sharing ideas, sometimes with a bit of conflict here in this house of siblings, or there's maybe some separation going on at the moment, but Mars is just a short transit through each sign here, just in a few weeks usually. So, but Mars disposits and sees the sun by a whole sign sextile from the third house, so giving some support, the nature of Venus, to the fifth house of pleasures here. So I just wanted to mention that. I've mentioned the solar eclipse and the trine, I suppose. The Leo moon is trining the sun from your ninth house of the higher mind, or the house of teaching. Perhaps you're the teacher, bringing some entrepreneurial topics to the fore. Or Leo moon is a very good leader, somebody that's inspiring in this house of God. So there's a lovely flowing aspect here from the house of God, the joy of the sun. It's related to your mind, spirituality, teaching, overseas travels, understanding. So there's a flow. This nature of the trine is the nature of Jupiter, a flowing aspect of harmony and support to this area of your fifth house of Venus's joy. So that's a nice supportive aspect here of the moon in a fire trine to your sun in Aries here. And also to say that your ruler Sagittarius has been gracing the sixth house of Taurus since last May, and will be here until May the 25th this year, because Jupiter spends about 1 year in each sign of the zodiac, taking about 12 years to circle around the whole zodiac. And there's going to be this conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus. So Jupiter is your ruler. So Jupiter is helpful to you, especially if you're born in the daytime, because Jupiter belongs to the daytime sect. And Jupiter will be applying within a 3-degree orb to conjoin with Uranus. The 6th house is about daily life, routine, work, health, service, maybe opportunities around work, your daily work. Maybe something new is breaking free. You're giving an opportunity to break free and to use some different skills here. The 3rd of April is when Jupiter will be applying within a 3-degree orb to Uranus at 20 degrees 59 minutes, and the exact conjunction will be the 21st of April. So some opportunity of growth, expansion, good fortune, recognition, gifts, independence, awakening and liberation may come up, and this aspect will be in a separating orb until the 8th of May. So that's pretty exciting for you, Saggies. So I hope that's helpful for you. Let me know how that goes. Mention anything below in the comments box. If you're feeling generous, subscribe, and if you're feeling even more generous, you can buy me a coffee. That's a new thing I've just put onto my website, so thanks for considering, and I hope that's helpful. Hi there, Capricorn ascendants, sun or moon if you don't know your time of birth. Here we can see this angular stellium of planets in Aries as the sun ingresses into Aries at this time of year for you. In the 4th house, it's a very powerful house. It's the resting place related to home and family, your roots, the land and property, your ancestry. So every year at this time of year, Capricorns, the sun will be activating these topics within your life. But this time we've also got Rahu, the north node of the moon, the severed head of the dragon, wanting to achieve something successfully here in an insatiable way of taking in and just absorbing and being driven to try and find some sense of achieving something here. We also have Mercury, the planet of communication, the mind, sharing ideas, mercantile projects, journeys. All of these things are being highlighted. Independence, your own thoughts, and also this conjunction with Chiron, the wounded healer, part of the Centurion belt. You can see Rahu, Mercury, Hermes, messenger of the gods, and Chiron, they're in a conjunction here. So this is sort of highlighting topics around your sense of identity, your own self-worth, your own abilities, your own independence, and they're all in this house of home and family. So what's resonating with you there? There's a sense of looking back, because Mercury will be going retrograde on the 1st of April at 27 degrees. And when Mercury goes retrograde, there's a sense of reflecting, revisiting, reviewing, reassessing all these topics around home and family. Mercury will go direct on the 25th of April in this area of your life. However, that's moving forward at 15 degrees Aries, 59 minutes. However, Mercury won't be out of the shadow period passing the original 27 degrees where he retrograded until the 13th of May to the 15th of May. So anything that's really important to you around topics of home and family, independence, what this might be bringing up for you, you can maybe move forward around the 13th to the 15th, but there's a time of healing some wounds here, looking at yourself, your identity, how that works within your family unit, and how you can move forward in the future. And also this house is being activated by the eclipses. There is going to be a solar eclipse in this 8th house on the 8th of April in Aries. And the dynamic is working across to the house of your public visibility and your status in the world, your career, your vocations, whatever you're seen to do in the public sphere of life, the house of praxis. So I will be doing a separate video on the eclipses, but there was a new moon solar eclipse, the first of its kind in Libra for the first time in about 19 years, last October on the 14th of October, and there will be a full moon lunar eclipse, which may be bringing some of those topics to the fore around the 25th of May this year. But as I said, these dynamics are going to be happening for the next 18 months or so. So always bringing up the topic of maybe your career, your social status, partnerships, collaborations, things like that in your public world, and then your house of home and family, and that dynamic of trying to find the balance there. That's always going to be in the post, as it were, these waves that give you opportunities to revisit these topics as the solar eclipses, lunar eclipses keep, you know, batting backwards and forwards like waves of new beginnings and endings for you, Capricorn ascendant sun or moons. So the ruler of Aries is Mars. He is here in this house, your second house here, co-present with Pluto, who's moved in recently I think it was last, my brain is getting a bit muddled now, but it was last May, I think, or March the 11th. I'm thinking Saturn, I can't remember. But basically, Pluto is going to be here for the next 19 years. Dipped his toe in last, let me see, I think it was March, that's right, March to June, then retrograded back into Capricorn. So you've been going through massive changes about how you show up in the world, stepping into your power, maybe reinventing yourself quite a lot. And now Pluto is activating this house of your own skills, your own power around finances, how you deal with money. And Mars is activating this area of life just during this ingress here. Mars can see the sun by a whole sign sextile, so lending some support around skills, finances, independence, using your own ideas, blended to the house of home and family there. And I've talked about that. The ruler, your ruler, Saturn, is about to, let me just get rid of that one circle. Your ruler, Saturn, is about to conjoin with Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, harmony, finances, pleasures, values. Venus is about to conjoin with Saturn here. Venus is in your third house, around your neighborhood, around your maybe sibling relationships. It could be something to do with siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends that you treat as family, people in your neighborhood. This third house used to be known in ancient astrology as the house of the goddess, so quite often relates to the feminine principle of friendship groups or those that are femininely inclined. So friendship groups, the house of the goddess, communications and teachings. So it's something to do with Venus exalted in Pisces, has abilities to exert her natural way of flow, of the compassionate, creative, dreamy, expansive way of blending with others, and especially with Neptune here in that third house as well. However, Saturn is the task master, and he encourages some sense of reality checks, creating boundaries. Sometimes Venus in Pisces may be too giving, too compassionate, perhaps, not recognizing that there's an end to the limits that you may offer within relationships. So Saturn may be saying, okay, right, well, you've done that, but maybe that's enough, or you're going to deplete yourself if you don't have a boundary to learn to say no. Saturn can say no. Saturn is limiting and recognizes responsibilities. So there's something around relationships, limitations or frustrations, or trying to bring the best that you can within these groups, within your neighborhood, your close family, like siblings, but also learning to say no is going to be important here. And let's just see where the moon is. The moon is in your 8th house of Leo, offering a trine to this home house of Aries, family and home. And this 8th house is about shared karmic debt. It's about what you do in a shared way with others, what you bring to the table, what they bring to the table, how that works. And it can be the esteem of others. But there is a flow in nature coming from the moon, trining the sun. So this trine is the nature of Jupiter. So there is some support coming in from others who think well of you, that can lend some strength to you and your independence around topics of home, family, land and property. So I hope that's helpful for you, Capricorns. Let me know how that resonates, if it does resonate with you. See how that unfolds, and the dynamics of your 4th house and your 10th house over this the lunar eclipses that are evolving like waves that keep coming back with memories of the past. If you're old enough, you know, they come in around 19 and 18 and 9-year cycles, and they repeat. So it's a bit like patterns that come back and give you these opportunities to revisit these topics of your life as represented by these house cusps, Aries and Libra. So if you're happy to press the like button, subscribe, or buy me a coffee, if you appreciate my work, thank you for doing that. Appreciate it. I'll put a comment below. Thank you so much, Capricorns. Now moving on to Aquarius. Hi there, Aquarius ascendants, sun or moon. If you don't know your time of birth, remember to look below as well about how you can cast your chart in the whole sign house system using free data on astro.com. If you do know your time of birth, and I've got a tutorial video on how to cast your chart if you don't know how to do that. So this spring equinox is happening with the sun ingressing into Aries, which always would happen at this time of year for you Aquarians. 0 degrees sun here in Aries, but this time we've got it co-present with Rahu, the north node of the moon, wanting to achieve some successes in this 3rd house of siblings, neighborhood, friends, family, teaching, travels, journeys, learning courses, with Mercury here in Aries conjoined, and Chiron as well. So this is a stellium of planets, and whenever there's a stellium of planets in a chart of the heavens, it brings a big focal point of energy. So Aries symbolizing independence, fiery nature, your own abilities, assertion, boldness, courage. This time of year for you Aquarius seems to be giving you this sort of drive to follow your passions and use your own skills and assert yourself and be courageous in this 3rd house area of your life, which is related to your local neighborhood, and it can relate to your siblings and aunts and uncles, distant relatives. It's the house of the goddess in ancient times, so it can represent friends, but it's also the house of technologies, internet, communications. All of these things are being highlighted during this ingress of spring equinox. And Mercury, the messenger of the gods, is here in Aries, slowing down a bit because Mercury has been quite fast here, but now slowing down in a bold and dynamic way in Aries, thinking quite fast after being in detriment, you know, quick ideas, impulsive plans, things like that. But Mercury's slowing down now because he's about to go retrograde on the 1st of April at 27 degrees, 10 minutes, and then he will go back, and at 15 degrees 59 minutes Aries he will station direct. And then when Mercury goes retrograde, it is a time of revisiting, assessing, revising things. Maybe there's gaps in your knowledge if you're wanting to be an authority and using your own ideas. There's things that you need to revise and implement more energy to get more sound structures around your ideas, reviewing things, filling in the gaps, and a time of rethinking things. And then when Mercury moves out of the shadow period, there's a wee gap on the 13th to the 15th of May where he's out of the shadow period, and you may be able to pick up these ideas and move ahead with these ideas that you may be processing during the Mercury retrograde period. There is also a solar eclipse happening here on the 8th of April. I'll be doing a separate video about that, Aquarians, but just to say that the dynamics that are in place are your house of goddess to the house of God, Libra, what the south node is. And there was a new moon solar eclipse here the 14th of October last year, and there will be a full moon solar eclipse here in this house of God. Further education, overseas travels, the higher mind on the 25th of March, but I'll be doing a separate video about that. But just to say, these dynamics of the 3rd house and the 8th house are in place for the next 18 months or so, bringing up these topics for you to ride these waves and experiences of whatever's being highlighted around your sense of self, your own needs, your own drive, and then others, the collaborations, the partnerships, the shared ideas, which is symbolized by Libra energies in your 9th house. So you have been through quite a journey, Aquarians, when you've had Pluto in your 12th house, and he's recently moved into your 1st house here I think it's last March, and he will be here for the next 19 years, but there will be a little dipping back into this 12th house of your subconscious, your inner self, purging out the very remains of any residual sort of unresolved patterns and unhealthy habits or self-undoing in this subconscious area of your life. But you've been working through that for 15 years, and now Pluto is encouraging you to show up and be powerful and use your own sense of independence with these new ideas that Aquarius represents here for the next 15 years. So Pluto is in your 1st house. Mars is the ruler of the sun, and he is also in your 1st house. So while Mars has been here, he may be bringing up lots more assertion and lots more dynamism and lots more forthright energy in this fixed air sign of your chart. And he also sees the sun by a whole sign sextile, so supporting your sense of self-belief and how you show up in your local environment is being shown here, Aquarians. There is a Venus and Saturn conjunction, where Venus is exalted in your 2nd house, which is in Pisces. Venus exalted in Pisces is related to your pleasures, your values, your attitude to relationships, and your skills and your abilities to create finances. So there's dreams here with Neptune, the modern day ruler of Pisces, been here for quite some time. But Saturn is bringing a sense of boundary, structure, reality. You know, it's a reality check. Kronos, Lord of Time. Okay, so Venus wants the best, wants to bring pleasures, wants to bring harmony, you know, easygoing. And Saturn is like, okay, that sounds great, but, you know, how can we do that? You know, so it's maybe coming to ground some of these ethereal ideas and imaginative thoughts around harmony, pleasures, creativity, connection with others. So it's a positive conjunction here of Venus and Saturn. But when they blend together, Saturn in Pisces is encouraging you to take on more responsibility in this area of your life, which is related to your own skills. And Venus, you know, brings her dreams, and Neptune supports that. So it's harnessing that and structuring that so that you can be more able to use your skills in the future, because Saturn is a long-term planning ahead for the long-term. Kronos, Lord of Time, being patient, filling in the gaps, working with what you have as your skill set and filling in, recognizing what's lacking there. So I hope that's helpful. And there's also the trine from the moon to the sun. So that's a nice helpful aspect coming from 7th house of Leo, fiery Leo, where there's a blend of positive energies coming to your 3rd house of siblings or local neighborhood. So some Jupiterian opportunities, supportive energies flowing to your Aries sun over this next wee while, starting with this ingress of the spring equinox. So I hope that's helpful for you, Aquarius. And if any of that resonates with you, leave a comment below. It's an exciting time ahead, and I will go into the lunar eclipses and solar eclipses in my next video. press the like, subscribe, or buy me a coffee if you feel generous. Thank you for doing that. Just to say, Aquarius, that I forgot to mention the Jupiter-Uranus co-presence with Jupiter about to conjoin with Uranus in your 4th house of home and family, land and property, ancestry. Jupiter has been here in this 4th house of Taurus since last May and will be here till the 25th of May. And Jupiter will be conjoining on the 3rd of April, applying to conjoin within a 3-degree orb. Uranus at 20 degrees 59. So we'll be exact on the 21st of April and in a separating orb to the 25th of May. So between the 3rd of April and the 8th of May, particularly around the 21st of May, there's some sense of positive, hopeful, opportunistic event that may show itself unexpectedly related to home and family. For some of you, this may be an unexpected pregnancy. For some of you, this might be related to property. For some of you, this may be related to breaking free and having more independence around the home. But just to be aware of it, that Jupiter is going to be blended with Uranus, the planet of unexpected, innovative, liberated, awakened ideas, and Jupiter, the larger, the greater benefic, expansive planet of the solar system, is enhancing some opportunities. So when these things come, they're only going to evolve if we actually step into embracing such challenges, which may feel quite destabilizing, but at the same time can offer great rewards in the future. So let me know how that happens, and thanks for listening. Sorry about missing that off. So now I'm going to move to the last sign of the zodiac, Pisces, ascendant, sun or moon. Hi there, Pisces, ascendant, sun or moon. If you don't know your time of birth, I don't know if you've been listening to the whole of the video. It's very long if you have, and if you have, thank you. If not, and you've scrolled along, this shows that your the spring equinox is happening with the sun ingressing into Aries. So this would happen every year at this time of year for you, Pisces. The sun is highlighting your 2nd house, which is related to your own self-worth, feelings of your own abilities, your own resources, your ability to create finances and handle money, and also how you can create your own security. So you can see the sun is at 0 degrees Aries. Rahu, the north node of the moon, the severed head of the dragon, he is insatiably driven to succeed in this area. So there's a sense that you really do want to find a way that you can courageously and independently be successful in this area of your life. And Mercury, the messenger of the gods, the psychopomp, the merchant, the communicator, the trickster, the magician. He is all about the mind and our ideas and travel and how we share our ideas. And, you know, he's been quite bold and been quite forthright while he's been in Aries. He was in his detriment in Pisces, but in Aries, he's been quite bold and able to forge ahead maybe with some quick ideas. But he is slowing down because he's about to go retrograde on the 1st of April at 27 degrees Aries. I'll go into that in a second. And also Chiron, the wounded healer, part of the Centurion belt, he's at 18 degrees. So you can see 16, 17, 18. There's a conjunction here of these energies representing different facets of ourselves, but healing wounds around our own sense of our own abilities related to your 2nd house of your own skills and resources is being highlighted here. And when Mercury does go retrograde on the 1st of April at 27 degrees 10 minutes, this will give you an opportunity, Pisces, to just reflect on these topics, to go back over, revisit, reimagine, revise, rethink. It's all of the R words when retrogradation happens with Mercury. It's Mercury appears to be going backwards in the heavens as viewed from our geocentric point of view, but it's just an illusion. But symbolically, it is a time to go back over thoughts and plans and ideas and things about travel or selling yourself or using your skills. And when Mercury stations direct on the 25th of April, at 15 degrees Aries, there'll be a chance to sort of start making plans for the future in relation to these topics around finances. However, Mercury will still be in the post shadow until the 13th of May to the 15th of May. So right at the end there of Aries, that's when he will be able to support you to forge ahead with your ideas of things that may have come to sort of some moments of clarity in your thoughts and ideas that you can take forward to the future in a more steadfast, slower moving way when Mercury goes into Taurus, because it's a much slower sign of the zodiac, fixed Earth. So that's going to be happening for you, and it is highlighting those topics around your own sense of security and abilities. We also do have the eclipses happening across this dynamic of your second house to your 11th, your 8th house. Beg your pardon. Aries is your second house, related to you, yourself, your independence, and your 8th house is the house of shared resources, other people's, collaborations, partnerships, karmic debt, money from others, partnerships, earnings, things like that are related to that. And there was a new moon solar eclipse on the 14th of October last year, and there will be a full moon solar eclipse, maybe bringing some of these topics to illumination on the 25th of March this year, but I will be going into that in a separate video. But just to say, Pisces, that the area related to you and your resources and your abilities and shared resources are going to be highlighted for the next 18 months. And it's like riding these waves of themes that keep repeating. And I don't know what age you are, but if you are of many decades, shall we say, there would have been patterns across these houses, these dynamic areas of your life, maybe 18 years or 9 years ago, because they come back round. Sometimes the nodes flip, so it's a different energy, because release is represented by the Libran area of your life, and success and achievement is represented by the North Node, Rahu. So that is really encouraging you, Pisces, to step into your power and develop these skills. So your ruler is Jupiter. In modern astrology, in ancient astrology, Jupiter is your ruler of Pisces. And there is that conjunction about to happen with Uranus here. That's going to be applying from the 3rd of April at 20 degrees. Jupiter will be in a 3-degree orb, applying to Uranus here in this house of your communications and daily life and neighborhood. So something opportune may show itself with an unexpected outcome, or just an awakening in this 3rd house of your own ideas. Could be to do with journeys, it could be to do with siblings, it could be to do with a course that you're undertaking to expand your knowledge, or something around expansion and growth and independence. This is exact on the 21st, so the aspect is applying on the 3rd of April, exact on the 21st, and separating around the 8th of May. So watch out for that in your local neighborhood, in your environment, in the house that was called the House of Goddess in ancient times. So there could be something unexpected related to relationships in your neighborhood and your community, or it might be to do with siblings, aunts, uncles, and cousins, or it could be to do with journeys, it could be to do with travel. Maybe some of you, Pisces, are learning to drive, and you're going to find your own independence and expansion and be able to make more journeys, or maybe there will be a special unexpected journey here that's highlighted around those dates. So Mars, the ruler of this ingress of the spring equinox, is in your 12th house. And you've also got Pluto up here in your 12th house. So Pluto's recently moved into this area of your life to do with your hidden self, your subconscious, your private, spiritual, inner world of dreams and deep psyche. So it's likely with Pluto having moved out of your 11th house that you've maybe gone through some dynamic changes with friendship groups, and now you're processing those things. And Mars is also activating all of this energy of your own independence in Aquarius, which is related to new ideas that the mind, those zigzaggy lines there are to do with lightning bolts of inspiration and new ideas. So Mars is activating this house, and be kind to yourself while you're receiving these transits, because this is known to be the place of Saturn's joy. It's the most distant house from the first house of the helm of the ship here, and it's the most hidden house. So sometimes we can get caught up in negative behaviors that can be related to bad patterns and addictions. So if you are going through those themes in your life, just know that, you know, Pluto encourages you to find your sense of power, but sometimes journeying deep into the darkness recesses allows you to find those treasures. But there will be a lot of new beginnings and releasing and endings in this private area of your life. So it sounds frightening, but we grow through intense changes, and Pluto will be there for the next 15 years. And just talking about something a little bit more immediate, we've got this conjunction here with Venus. She's exalted in Pisces. She's exalted in your first house. I'm imagining, since Venus has been here, you're showing up in a really beautiful way to the world, the way that you present yourself. You're being seen for all the beautiful, sharing, compassionate, harmonizing, creative qualities that you offer the world. And, you know, you may be investing more in your appearance, which isn't a bad thing, because if you feel like you're presenting a positive aspect of yourself, then that can help enhance how you can interact and be the best that you can be in life. You know, there's many layers, not just the physical appearance, but yeah, the sense of your compassion and your creativity with Venus in this first house. Also with Neptune ruling, the modern ruler of Pisces has been here in this area of your life, bringing dreams and aspirations, hopes, higher mind inspirations from the collective, other realms of spirituality. But with Saturn here, Saturn can be quite somber in the first house. He can bring a sense of, you know, quite a somber, slightly depressed mood. So there can be a sense of burden and responsibility, and Saturn is going to be in this house for a couple of years for you. But when Venus conjoins with Saturn, she is trying to bring all her blessings of peace, love, harmony, pleasures, beauty, and appreciation. So she may help lift Saturn's mood, but at the same time, you can't escape the fact that there needs to be some boundaries and structures around how you do things in life and the responsibilities that you take on. So maybe it's to do with saying no, not giving everything away, not depleting yourself, but, you know, because as a Pisces, you're very caring and compassionate and feel what's going on in the collective, and you can pick up on all of that with that intuitive, sensitive, watery nature. So Saturn is, you know, encouraging you to set your boundaries, to learn your limits, and to bring some sort of sense of limitation and boundaries within close relationships that may affect your values in life. And finally, we've got the trine from the moon in Leo in your 6th house, which is supporting your sense of self-expression and independence. The 6th house in Leo is about daily life routines, your health. So recognizing that you have got unique skills of creativity and maybe leadership skills that you can bring to the fore, which is enabling you to express that through that Aries dynamic related to your 2nd house there. So I think that's everything that I've got there for now. I believe, oh, wait a minute, no, 1 minute. Did I mention Jupiter, your ruler, and Uranus at work here? Yeah, I did. Did I? I can't remember. Anyway, I'll say it in case I didn't. I'm right at the end of this recording, so I've been probably doing it a couple of hours, so bear with me. So Pisces, this is your ruler, Jupiter. Jupiter is the ancient ruler of Pisces, and you've also got the modern day ruler of Pisces in your 1st house, accentuating you. So Jupiter, the benefic, largest, greater benefic planet. He's seen as somebody that can bring good fortune, help your expansion, help growth, good fortune, recognition, rewards. He is applying to conjoin with Uranus here in Taurus, and this is in your 3rd house of local environment. So it is potentially related to siblings or neighbors or relatives, distant relatives, aunts, uncles, cousins. Something fortuitous may be coming up here around those topics. And Uranus is about illuminating, awakening, and liberating. So this aspect of Jupiter conjoining to Uranus is applying from the 3rd of April. That's when Jupiter is in a 3-degree orb, and then I'm taking it to 3 degrees after, where you may feel these benefits of expansion, awakening, freedom, independence, slight rebellion even, breaking the mold in this area around your neighborhood. It can be to do with teaching as well, breaking free, travel. There could be opportunities here as well. So this aspect is applying the 3rd of April, and the 21st of April, it will be exact and separating till the 8th of May. So I hope that's exciting. If you want to embrace that challenge, these opportunities may rise, but if we don't grab those opportunities, Pisces, and step into that exciting realm of the unknown, we don't know how they can unfold in the future. So, you know, as always, as human beings, we have choices to make in our lives. So thank you very much for listening. So talking about the hope of spring at equal day and equal night, where the sun has now gone into Aries with all the hope of the future for the unfolding of the seasons to come. I wish everybody well. Thank you very much for listening. Like and share if you're able to, leave a comment below, and buy me a coffee if you're feeling particularly generous. It's a new thing I've got on my website, which I didn't put until after I'd put out my last video. So I welcome that to support me as a sort of an exchange for the time that I put into sharing these videos, and hope that they are helpful for everybody. So thanks very much for listening, and happy spring equinox. Bye for now.